breeze blowing, storm clouds moving in. Whatever's gonna happen, it's about to begin. I remember what the drunk donkey told me when he said, son, don't fear. Mike's where the page life is about to appear. Then he's gonna tell you about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you which way it's going, and if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news that they try to hide. Just click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Well, there'll always be some haters, but they don't understand that Mike's got a friend and 100,000 more across the land. Well, if you want to know it first and you want to know it right and you want to have time to plan, Drunk Donkey Nation tells your friend Mike, he's your man. Then he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm or if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news others try to hide. Click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Yeah, here at Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nation Pride.
All right, everybody, good morning. Had a scarecrow behind me. How's everybody doing? I was trying to make it fit up there, but it ain't working too good. Trying to get everybody in the mood for fall, you know, like maybe hurricane season's, it's on the downhill slide now, 9-10, peak of season. So, but we got tropics to talk about, lots to talk about. So let me make sure everything's working. Good morning, everybody. We are streaming live apparently on Facebook, X, and YouTube. I'm a one-man band. So bear with me. Got a little late start here. I had to boot. Had to reboot. All right. So, my mom's messaging me right now. Mom, I'm doing my show right now. Mom always forgets. Speaking of forgets, today's 9/11. The day we never forget, right? Patriots Day now. 2001, man, it seems like yesterday. I remember where I was at. So today we definitely want to bring that to the attention of our kids. I mean, Emily was born after 9/11, 2001. So hopefully the kids today understand what happened that day and how we love our country and God bless America. Crazy story that day was we got family in Somerset, Pennsylvania, and that plane like crashed right close to her house. It was like seeing Somerset. I'm like, what? It was a bad day. As we all know. We will never forget that day. That's for sure. But let's talk weather. I got my little puppy up here. We did Hunter yesterday, so today we do Louie. And we got Lee. I got a lot of people watching me because of Lee. We got some new people watching because of Lee. So welcome, new people. Who's Mike? Mike's weather page. I'm just an armchair quarterback. I break it all down and not a real meteorologist. So if that worries you, that's fine. I always support and suggest following National Hurricane Center, National Weather Service, 100%, especially when our storm is getting close. So I always throw that disclaimer out. This is the This is the time of a model run that we started getting a lot of posts telling me what I should and shouldn't do, and why are you doing this, and why are you doing that, and I'm staying away, and I don't really care. What do you think, Louis? So we got a pretty big storm out there right now. It's re-intensifying. We're going to get into all that. We got a little something else brewing out there I'm going to talk about briefly. Louis is like looking at that scarecrow, wondering what the heck's going on. Good morning, Miss Shelley. Shelley over there on the East Coast. Good morning, Phil. I think he's watching today. Maybe Julie. Our little foursome of MWP. Keep it running. Let's see what the YouTubers are up to today. All right. Well, it's just a great picture for today. 9/11, American flag. Our great supporter, ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. I use this picture a lot because it has probably three of my favorite things. Four of my favorite things. ABC Fine Wine and Spirits, number one. American flag. Well, American flag, number one. ABC, number two. You know what I meant. Palm tree. Palm trees and me are like the best. And blue sky. The only thing that would make this better would have to be a pair of flip-flops. But we appreciate all the support they do for us. This is our Daily Brew brought to you by ABC. Here's the tropics map. And we got 4 things out there. The little yellow guy, don't worry about it. He's going to get eaten up by the orange thing. The orange thing's coming off Africa. Margot is going to be a player with Lee. Lee is the only thing we're going to worry about right now. We'll show a little bit about the orange guy later on. The orange guy is so far away, we have no solid runs except the ones that said, why are you talking about it? It's a fish storm. Well, because there's several models showing it not being a fish storm. And what the hell is a fish storm when it hits possibly Bermuda? I love the last comment I read. Now that the storm isn't going to affect the United States, will you please start talking about the tropics? It will. First off, last I saw, New England's part of the United States. Aren't you? Are New Englanders U.S.? Massachusetts, Maine, Connecticut. Are you guys part of the U.S.? I mean. And, of course, Nova Scotia. Bermuda's looking better. I did a post for Bermuda. It's still looking like tropical storm force winds for you all later Thursday, Friday. Probably be tropical storm warnings in Bermuda when Lee passes by. I could just hold him. Oh, did you see that, Ed? Okay, Idalia. I'm going to say hi to some people. People! So, Idalia, how do you say your name? Edilia. How do you say that? But OMG, it's Wix. How about that? Whoa, what was that? Oh, God, it's my security camera. Please, nobody be here. Hey, my drone's showing up today. Maybe that's my drone. Wouldn't that be funny? I don't know. OMG, it's Wix, man. That was an awesome little video he did with me in it. So, if you saw it, awesome. It was fun. Hey, Alan, what's up? Kathy, beautiful state. Good morning, everybody. Let's get a little closer to what we're looking at. Here we go. This is current satellite on Lee while we say hello. Drone time. I know, drone time. I Googled, this is how bad I am. I Googled Florida to Maine. 24 hours driving. So, then after I saw that, I went instantly to Google Flights. Peggy, what's up? Good morning. St. Mary's, Georgia. Thank you. Do you know a Troy Meredith up there? My buddy Troy, the Meredith. Dennis' dad, great guy. Bay Arbor, Maine. I might be needing some help, Marissal, on where the heck I'm going up there. Southern Maine. Boca was rainy, Pam Hunter. It's awful. A lot of folks watching from the up north. I appreciate that. We're going to go right into it. Fly and rent a truck. Anthony. That's it. Somebody just shared it. I know we're not supposed to have links, but it's out there. A lot of New Englanders. That's awesome. All right, so a couple things let's just talk about. Let me talk about looking at this. I'm going to discuss everything in a nutshell and go over everything. Dennis, I don't recall the name of the drone. Man, you know what? Everybody asked me this, so I'm going to show you right now. I can't believe my mom messaged me at 9:19. Like, Mom. I deleted it. Darn it. I got the email that it was on its way out the door. Hold on 2 seconds. Let me see if it's here. My phone email is different than the real email. Oh. It's funny. DJI sent me a back to school. Oh, it's Autel Pilot. AUTEL. Have anybody heard of that one? AUTEL Pilot. It's orange. I got the orange one because I was like, why would I want an orange one? And then I'm like, because that's brilliant. Because when I used to fly my DJI, you lose it up there. Orange is brilliant. I can't wait. I'll be able to see it. Plus, it's a Category 8 wind speed for the drone. So, all right. A lot of downplaying on this storm. And I'm telling you, if everything I've learned with tropics is, I don't see why some are saying it's nothing when it's going to be in the 960 range. I know it's going to be transitioning into, extra tropical, meaning more mid-levels, but it's going to be approaching possibly as a tropical system. And the warm water is, even I was doing it until I really looked into it. The water temperatures where Franklin is still 82, 83 degrees. And it's going to be going pretty fast. So how much is it really going to weaken by landfall? It's going to be a widening system. There's going to be a lot of effects off on the west side. Every model we've shown for like 5 days, western storms, western rains, a lot of them. Spiring counterclockwise, we're going to have a lot of waves crashing up into that east coast from Carolinas northward. Even Florida's going to have big 10-foot waves midweek. And of course Nova Scotia. Just dealt with Fiona last year, but I still think we're going to have a big issue with unexpected winds and rains and storms. And coastal impacts. So we've seen a shift in the models. They're slowly going a little bit west. It's that high pressure with Margot and Lee I've talked so much about. We learned that with Franklin and Idalia. Idalia might have turned into the Florida Peninsula, but Franklin developed a high pressure area, and we're going to see that. The high pressure is built in between Margot and Lee. And it's not catching up to that front. It's so slow right now that front that was going to pick it up, a little less timing. It's going to still pick it up, but then the front dissolves, high pressure builds back in, and that's what's going to block it from going back out to sea. So bottom line is this: if you're in the New England area, northeast, you're going to get impacts even without even a direct landfall. You're going to get something, something. Not saying Cat 5 or nothing, but you're going to get something. Not once have I ever hinted that you're going to get a major hurricane. People are like, quit the hype. Anyway, so that's what it is. That's the one I got there, Triple Foamer. I'm excited. You got to Google it, David. I did my homework, man. It had really good reviews on it. And I got the one with a screen on it because I got tired of putting my phone in it. All right, so here's the latest track. So we got a new track at 11. You know what that means at 11 o'clock? This cone is going to start touching northeast. Bermuda, listen, I don't want to not talk about Bermuda. I did a couple posts this morning. Bermuda likely going to get tropical storm force winds later Thursday into Friday. All indications is this is passing west of Bermuda. But it's strengthening right now. Hurricane hunters are out there. Pressure's in the 940s again. It's going to be a major for a couple more days. So it's turning, yes. But we're going to start to see the cone touch New England. And that means there's a possibility of this thing coming. Latest models. I stayed up last night. I've been counting down my nap, Shelly. I told Julie at 7, I told the dogs 5 hours from now we're taking a nap because I got up at 5 and went to bed at 1. But Here's the latest spaghetti models on Tropical Tidbits. We just got them out. These are 12Z. That just means they came out around 9. But, we got a little shift again. We have our first official model now touching Maine. A couple of them are stopping at day 7, which means they haven't run all the way up yet. This is only goes out 7 days, but yep, that's Nova Scotia. I'm well aware. But this is also East Coast U.S. I'm well aware of that too. So there you go. This is 12Z spaghetti models just came out, and we're not seeing it out to sea. We're seeing high pressure build in between Margot, and we're seeing a little bit of trend to the west. Now, do we get a little trend back east? We don't know. But, we're within 5 days now. This thing's going to start affecting Friday, even though we're looking at landfall maybe Saturday. Because it's going to be such a big system, we get so wrapped up in landfall, we don't think about, we're going to start seeing effects on Friday. Today's Monday. That's 4 days from now. All right, so I don't worry about anybody, Tiffany. I just think it's funny. Mike Soul, what's up? Morning, Richard Sanford. I had to take a nap. Well, I could take a nap on the airline. We have no softball this weekend, so. A lot of flooding in the north, yes. Vermont got terrible flooding. Maine, you guys have been up there getting hit all year long. Like, we've had blocking high pressure systems over the southeast, and that's created a jet stream to push all the storms your way. The northeast has been getting all the weather this year. Healthy AG, good morning. And it's not coming to Florida. Lee, you asked about Carolinas. Probably nothing, maybe just waves. You're going to get the frontal line's coming. We'll show you the rain thing. But, all right, let me show you another model that I posted. Look, let's get rid of this one. That was brand new. Here's satellite. Let's get rid of that one. That takes up a lot of bandwidth. Here's another one I did this morning. Now, let me super zoom it. All right. So there are the KMA, which we've talked about the KMA model. I had to find 5 models, so I put the KMA on there. Notice the gap. These are some of these are 850 winds, some of these are 10 meter winds. Sometimes the 850 winds are a little more like scary looking. But the bottom line is a lot of them are still showing a pretty tight closed eye, not yet transitioning to extratropical. So this is where it's weird. It's almost like we might get an approaching tropical system, hurricane, that opens up eye wall and becomes extratropical, kind of like Sandy did, and have a really wide wind field. And why is that important is because even without a landfall, opening wider system, these winds are going to go way inland, and that affects a lot of people, So here's KMA, kind of splitting the gap there, close to Maine. UK shifted back west. UK was kind of an outlier going really east, but it's actually, close. GFS almost touching Massachusetts on its way north, as is the Euro. And the Canadian's the farthest to the, imagine the Canadian model. Canadian model is the only one pointing hard at Nova Scotia. Like, Canadian model wants to go home. But that's enough to talk about. I'm telling you, it's not a forecast. But we got a lot of people in that area, and they're going to have to start wondering what the heck's happening. This was the latest blend on Tomerberg's site. Tomerberg's. I got to find out if it's Tomer or Tomer. But these are your ensembles. And you can see how they've started to, the black line is the average of all 100 plus ensembles that we have from GFS, Euro, and CMC. But, there's quite a few turning. I keep saying zigzag. The reason we're having a zigzag is this. You initially are getting your front is picking up our system. But then the front leaves, we get a high pressure system, and this is going to kind of zigzag it. And the stronger that high is, the more it zigzags towards the, eastern coast here. So that's that. Let's look at a little easier to look at here would be Weather Nerds. These are your latest these just came out. 6Zs don't go out very far. But you know whose does is Ben Knowles. Let me go if I can go check out Ben Knowles real quick here. See if I can find the other. Let's see, ESC bot. Here we go. Oh my God, a dog's making all kinds of noises. Nope, 18Zs aren't out yet. These must have just ran. I'm looking at them now. I'm looking for the 18Z. These are still 00Z. So anyway, these are the latest Euro 6Z. They just came out. Tight clusters, zigzagging. Enough to really keep an eye on it. So there's that. Last night 00Zs, which was longer run 10-day cycles. Here you go. And same general thinking. Let's go to the 6Z one more time and see if we can kind of bounce back and forth. So, all right. So you can almost argue a little more shift. So the last night 00Z had this right on the tip of Nova Scotia here. And then we look at the last 6Z, we're actually a little bit of shift. So it shifted. The Euro shifted just a little bit. And what you all are dealing with in the Northeast is exactly what we deal with in Florida down here. A tiny little shift is going to make all the difference in the world because that's going to bring whatever a little bit closer, So this isn't your normal out to sea curve. It's because we have a high pressure system building in, and it's going to kind of push it a little bit to the west. So the Euro indeed looks like it shifted a little bit more to the west as far as the average of the ensembles. This black line is the average of 51. GFS, I'm going to show it. It hasn't done terribly, even with Idalia. Once it establishes a storm, it seems like GFS isn't as bad. But let's take a look at the latest. These are 6Z. These just came out. And you can see, a handful of them to the northeast. So that's, I think I beat that drum enough, right? Northeast should be watching close. Now let's look at intensities and stuff now. We're seeing a zigzag. We saw the zigzag last night. The reason I stayed up to 1 last night was to make sure see what's going on. And all the OZs are zigzagging because of this high pressure. Okay, so let's take a look. Hurricane hunters are out there right now, by the way. You can follow them here on Tropical Tidbits. I got a link there for you. We got a new mission heading out now. It looks like they just took off from New Orleans. Or, excuse me. I'll let you all answer this one. Where do they fly out of here? Is it... what's the name of that Air Force? I'm not really good. Matthew, yeah, buddy. Well, no, I'm learning with you guys. I'm not. Let's see. Decent population. Okay, Dub and Halifax. Yeah, I had one comment that kind of made me think. They're like, well, Fiona was on 930 millibar and it was only Cat 1 winds. But didn't Fiona also do a lot of damage up there, if I remember right? 930 pressure, Cat 1 winds. I don't know what's worse, Cat 1 winds or the pressure, but Cat 1 usually means, Cat 1 wins. Hammocks to coasters. I like it. I like hammocks. Not Homestead. Keesler. There you go. Biloxi. Thank you for that. Not this map. They're displaced toujours. This one right here. Keesler. I drove around Keesler. Did anybody... Shelly remember this? Because this was the chase with Zeta, and I drove around the Air Force base, remember? Trying to get back to the Golden Nugget. I'll be going somewhere. I'm a traveling man. There's a Leonard Skinner song, I'm a traveling man. I grew up traveling. I love traveling. I love going to Texas. I loved going to Texas 2 weeks ago. And I would love to go to a new part of the U.S. Zeta and Howard. Shelly, don't let me forget Howard if I fly to the Northeast. I would almost like to fly to OBX and just kind of see some of the waves out there. I've always saw videos. I really want to drive down 12 on OBX. I'm not looking. I wouldn't want to drive them 25 lane highways around Maryland though. I've never seen such big roads up there. We have been there. I haven't been past like New York, Northeast. Beautiful country, I'm sure, but I just remember roads up there are huge. Like, we're spoiled down here. We think we got 3-lane highway works, it is good. You all have like 8-lane highways. It's still bumper to bumper. All right, so the pressures are hovering around 950. Kind of doing that west-northwest. This is Hurricane Hunter data. Might be going through another eye wall replacement right now currently. You kind of see it on some of the, I don't know if it's going to go back that far or not, but you can kind of see it on some of these data readings here. You can see like a double dip here where the winds kind of drop, and then they go back up, and you can kind of tell here with surface winds and flight winds. So it's kind of a sign of maybe a bigger eye wall forming, swallowing up the little eye to make a big eye. And what's it look like on satellite? So that's been the trend with this thing, always getting bigger, wider, more winds. It's always been the case. Let's see if we can see the eye. Is the eye even there right now? Oh, she's trying. Look at that. One little lonely lightning bolt. You can see. You can always find the eye usually when you start seeing lightning. And it's right there trying to come back. Still looks good to me. I'll tell you. I think there was such a big news, overwhelming, breaking news that it was a Cat 5. For some reason, I feel like Lee's lost love. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see anybody talking about Lee anymore. It's like, not a Cat 5 anymore. Let's not talk about it. I don't get that. I don't know. Football's taking over the headlines. We're not hearing about Lee anymore. So, what's a test? I got a satellite phone. I got a Shelly. How am I going to take my Starlink though? That's a long ride. Maybe I can take the auto train. It'll take forever to get there. There's no Nigel yet. Stephanie Tyndall, what's up? How you doing? Ivy Joyce, no, they have a flight pattern that they do. It's their standard to penetrate the eye, to track the coordinates, get readings out ahead in all 4 quadrants. Take the train now, I know, right? All right, so let's talk about the individual models. So we do have this system coming off of Africa, way far away. The one from Africa is going to be somewhere around here later this week. Where's my little guy? So, that a lot of models have it going up. Some of them actually have it going this way. So we're going to watch. You'll see it on this model map right here. So we're going to, this is the Euro. Number 1 tracking one, if you had to pick over time, Euro is very, very, very reliable. Does extremely well reading upper air patterns. And here's what we got for the week. So it's still predicted to go down to 930 range tomorrow. Then it's going to start turning north. Here's that frontal line. We have a pretty strong front coming in. Going to be some cool weather this weekend. It's going to be great. 40s and 50s reaching the mountains. 50s down in the deep south. maybe 50s hitting the Panhandle, Upper Gulf, maybe Saturday, Sunday night. Problem with this thing that's been moving slow is this front that's going to help lift our system is going to start weakening. And when that front starts to weaken, this high pressure here that's between Margot builds blocks any way that this thing can curve. And it's been building a little bit more in the models. So all the models are seeing that now. And seeing, this is 6Z, darn it. They're seeing a little wiggle east, and all this orange means basically high pressure. Front's gone. Doesn't really have anything steering it other than this high pressure system that's between it and Margot. I'm having a hard time with that. So high pressure winds, lifting our system north. And see that little bend? A little bend on the Euro. Euro's almost making landfall into Maine. This was overnight. But look how large it is. This is the big talking point. So this is the big question mark is this. All right, so here's Boston. Look at all these gradients. Lots of wind. Lots of waves. Spiraling storms will be coming in from the north towards the coast. So this area here will get a lot of flooding if areas that get flooding and high tide, plus we have a new moon on the 15th. This is the 16th. Still going to be a big moon. That adds to the surge, adds to the tides. And that's a skirt that, brings a lot of wind. Kind of makes that gap. What do they call that gap? Is that where Bay of Fundy is? I don't even know. Somebody tell me. Is that the Bay of Fundy right there between? But splits the gap. Close enough now to say probably, maybe even touching Maine as a potential landfall. So we've seen a shift a little bit. Latest GFS. Let's go back to the winds. So here's your 10-meter winds. These are hard to decipher. By the way, we're on tropicaltidbits.com. Tropicaltidbits.com. Bay of Fundy. There you go. Thank you, y'all. I was there once. I kind of remember it. Does it flood there? Mike E's thinking about fishing. What's up, Mr. Mike Soul? How you doing, buddy? Boston's had a lot of rain this year. Sellout. I didn't know that. I know the Northeast has been just over every weekend getting Storm Prediction Center outlooks. Bay of Fundy. Yep, Bay of Fundy. Biggest tides. I kind of remember the things swinging. All right, so this is a 10-meter wind map, and it's really hard to figure because a lot of these are getting lost over the ocean, but look at some of this purple already showing. Oh, this is 10 meter. 10-meter winds. So I'm really torn by a lot of these posts, people downplaying it, saying, well, it's going to be extratropical, it's not going to have any water, it's not going to be anything to worry about. But, even if the Euro keeps it off the coast, we're going to have some pretty big winds. I mean, we could have gusts upwards in 85, 80. And these are going to spread well inland. Here's your winds into Canada, nothing too bad. I agree, but still close. Just so close to potential impacts here for the East Coast. Now, we're not talking Category 3, Category 4. I get it. But we're talking about a system that's trending more west, and, we'll be weakening a little bit. Some of these winds, luckily, are showing a little less, but I caution that if this thing's moving up pretty fast. Here's the latest GFS. right off the coast. Surface winds might, going to extratropical expands the wind field for sure, making more people feeling them inland. But I don't know, man. Anytime you see the pressures is low like that, you're going to have a lot of coastal winds. So that's 2 models. I get it. It might shift back again. It might go back east again. It might go back west again. But we're within a 5-day window here of possibilities. And again, since we're on this map, let's show Thursday night for Bermuda. Some of the bigger wind gusts are going to be just off the coast or off of the island. And this is gust map. Sustained winds. You could probably have 40, 50 even. So that's why I think Thursday night or Thursday, they'll probably just issue. They'll probably, Thursday, Friday, tropical storm warnings probably for Bermuda as this thing scoots by. All right, so there's your wind maps, 10-meter winds. Who knows? But that's pretty powerful. Here's what the rains look like. Like I was saying, go to the GFS. Heavy rains across the coast. GFS making a main landfall. Canadian, like I said, it's all the way over here to Nova Scotia. The farthest east. But still showing impacts here, obviously. And those tight gradients are going to bring winds. And then the Icon, again, it's not the best track model, but the Icon showing kind of splitting that gap more Nova Scotia. So that's that. I mean, we're almost at the point like we're playing. What was that game where you ran and you passed something to somebody else? We're almost in that 5-day window now where the NHC is going to start issuing more possibilities. And this is very tricky because I was still here doing video, or we didn't have videos back then, but I was forecasting Sandy. We were showing, nobody knew what to expect. And one time the NHC stopped giving watches and warnings because it wasn't considered tropical anymore. That was more of a direct hit, which brought more surge. But we might be seeing areas a little bit to the north of that are, dealing with, something they haven't dealt with in a long time. All right, so some other models here. Let's go to the Canadian, or everybody's asked about the Korean model. I posted it the other day now, but I've seen it on the news too. Somebody was talking about it, so it's got its place. Here's the latest Canadian or KMA model, and it's showing that little zigzag. Most of them are showing a little weakening right before landfall. It's really, it's going to be the timing thing. I mean, heavy winds passing by, Massachusetts, but then it's going to be weakening into extra tropical as it goes north, expanding those winds, and I think we're going to have more of an inland wind event that people realize, but nothing. I mean, I know you all get nor'easters and stuff. So that, again, tropical systems are a little different because they have a different energy source. So that's just the big question is, KMA, if that thing just shifts this a little bit. The UK actually went a little bit more. About the same. UK was way over here yesterday, so it's kind of shifted. All right, so there's really no point to. The point of everything up to this point was just, hey, this thing has got a chance of impacting some folks in the Northeast. We'll have to see what the official forecast is going to be as far as weakening goes. So they're still saying too soon to know if there's any impacts, if any. Let's see what their discussion is. Sometimes they start talking long range here when we start getting close to 5 days. Large wind field, slow motion, upwelling, increased shear, cooler water. We knew that. It says weakening later week, gradual weakening. Even though the peak winds are forecast to decrease, the outer wind field is expected to expand as the hurricane interacts with the upper front. So that's the bottom line. It's going to be a widening system. It already is wide, as a matter of fact. Check this out. Hurricane winds extend out 75 miles now from the center. 75 miles. So in theory, it could be 75 miles off the, coast of Cape Cod and still have hurricane force winds. So, all right. So there's that. Really hard to tell. Latest wind map, pretty incredible if you ask me, or wave map. Waves on the Euro. There's our waves coming into Florida, obviously, Wednesday, Thursday. 8 to 15 foot seas off the coast. Reds are 20 foot seas, getting close to the Outer Banks on Thursday. But then the big stuff. So we have a wave height max here of 88 feet. Purple stuff getting close to the Outer Banks. Purple stuff is around 30 foot seas. Even though our system's going to be here. And we're still going to have big seas by Bermuda. I'm not taking nothing away from you all. From the south side. Y'all could be getting 30, 40 foot seas coming in Thursday. But here's the big question, man. These are some pretty intense wave heights that are entering that area. I mean, you tell me. I don't know. I don't know the geography up there. I don't know what it means. I don't know, what impacts you guys could have. To me, that looks like a lot of water piling up there. I was hoping we had a little more. Oh, there's the northeast. I just think that's a lot of water, man. A lot of waves. I don't know. I'm about to look at history here, but there's what the wave map could look like. This is on the Euro. So even with weakening winds, light purple is 36, 40, 45 foot seas. And look at the arrows. That's the wind direction. So I think that's a big story that is going to come out of this thing. Those angle of winds, the angle, waves. I don't know that area. But man, that seems like a lot of winds and waves to me. Storm surge map, for sure. I just don't think we're close enough yet to get... Now remember, this isn't surge. I don't know, cycloptic. Please chime in. I don't know. Bob Daly, I don't know where to get the KMA model. That's a paid site. I don't think anybody else has it. Now, again, this isn't surge. This isn't meant to scare anybody. Please, it's just we've been showing these wave maps, and now that the storm's a little closer, this to me could be the big story. Port St. Lucie concerned, Trina. No. There's no way this is coming to Florida. There's just no surge maps yet, Eric. But let me try to find you some, since I love the questions. I'm glad I got to see that. Our Sierra map here is not yet. I don't know if it's updated yet. I don't think it's. It could be. I don't know if it is or not. I don't think it is. It's not. There's no way this is up. This is surge. So you got to remember one thing. So surge, I'm going to show you a surge map. Let's just look at like a Cat 1. But surge is what it is. Let's say the NHC goes 3 to 5 foot surge. They usually include moon heights now. but you add the waves on top of surge. So that's the problem. It's the water increases, and then you get the waves on top of that. The waves are separate. So we get big waves on top of surge. That's where things get to be an issue. And these surge maps really won't start getting updated until our system gets close, unfortunately. But we can do some estimated surge maps, I guess, just to kind of see that area, surge potential right here. And we can slide the bar to Cat 1. Let's just do Cat 1. If it is a Cat 1 up there. And again, it's so hard to predict this stuff because of the waves and the winds. But, you know, these areas, obviously, I mean, every one is unique. I'll just link it, that way y'all can play with it. But this pretty much shows you, I mean, surge is so hard to predict because, you know, storm's going to be coming in like this and at an angle. And this area might not get a lot of surge because the winds are going to be kind of rotating the whole time by. So it might be more of a issue here with the current track, you know. You get some, but as far as the big impacts go, you know, Sandy curved, so it was doing this as it turned in, you know. This system's different, and it will be coming by, let's say like that. So the whole cycle, the winds are going to be doing that around it, and really, you know, you'll get some, but I'm thinking this area right here is going to get you know, no matter what, it's going to get a lot of water, regardless of landfall. And of course, the Bay of Fundy up here. What's history show there? I don't know. I'm really naive when it comes to this area. I'm just showing you what it's looking like, you know. But we do have, you know, see Cat 2. You can slide it to Cat 2. I mean, let's say it is a Cat 2. I mean, these areas are now showing up red, meaning 9 feet plus. And I'm sure there's a lot of people live out here too. You know, a lot of little barrier islands and Cape Cod National Seashore. So yeah, all this area. I'll put that link. I'll tell you what I'll do. As soon as we're done with the live here, I'm going to put that link up here somewhere. I'll show you where I'm going to put it. I'll put the surge map right here, that little gap right there. I'll put surge potential, and then until, you know, we just won't get any surge maps until the NHC is within that 5-day window. So anyway, Pocket Cause, I love that one. Kenneth Jones, I don't know why they actually unhid that. Man, so many comments get hid. It ain't by us. They hid this comment, but I think it's funny. Go park your car in the hot pot of your yard. That's Boston, right? Boston slang. I guarantee hey, Greg, ring the cowbell. Hi, nice to see you. All right, now we can go loud because yesterday I didn't want to wake the girls up. So, anybody new? This is to Miss Furman. I'm glad you're part of the family because Greg, you know, we don't want to leave him in charge. Holy moly. Alex, your wedding is in Massachusetts on Saturday and you're an emergency manager. Oh, my God. Seriously, Alex, are they talking? I'm curious, Alex. What are they talking about? Are you on coastal parts? Because I'm really curious the level of preparedness up that way right now. You know, Friday. See, even the NAC map's starting to show this. Look, by 11, this is your map. I'm trying to get the wind speed. All right, so this map right here, let me just open it up. I'm trying to make it bigger, but it's like, so this map right here is starting to touch, meaning the chances of tropical storm force winds are already starting in the 5-day forecast. So this is Friday. You know, any little wiggle west would, you know, let's just say New Jersey northward, the chances will increase of tropical storm force winds as early as Friday. Well, Alex, it's safe to say Saturday night you're going to be rocking, either in a hurricane or having a wedding. Gloria was a storm. Who posted that? Thank you, Gloria, Miss Boo. Let's take a look at Gloria. Was it a tropical storm or hurricane? Our local, was it 1985? I love my Oldsmar Fire Department. I know them all. They're great people. They actually have a piece of steel from the World Trade Center from 9/11. And I see it every day I drive by. So those are cool reminders to never forget, especially on days like today. So I'm glad our Oldsmar Fire Station has a little history there. Let's take a look at Gloria. Is that the one 1985? It looks like it hit Connecticut. I'm trying to find a track history. Well, here, I can just slide this over now. Okay, here we go. This one trended. It might have trended a little bit more west. Obviously, it made a landfall, but at one time was a Category 4. I think it probably weakened a little bit. Oh, see, it became extratropical. Across the coastline, then became extratropical. Well, I have to read about it. That one maybe was a little bit more west. Here's a slosh model. Remember the old slosh models? New York Basin. I'll look into that one more. A little more. Bob was another one. Hurricane Bob. Yeah, okay, let's look at Hurricane Bob. Because I think that one was being mentioned a lot too. There was Bob. Doesn't sound intimidating. My dad's name's Bill, but Bob. There's Bob. Oh, I'm looking here. I need to slide it over here. There's Bob. That's Hurricane Bob. Bob is a clipper. He clipped. So these are going just a little. Oh, there's a big old guy. Look at that one. Oh, let's see. Bob, 1991. Highest winds ever were only 115. Let's see. Bob rapidly made second landfall in Maine as a strong tropical storm. $1.5 billion. $3.2 2023 dollars. Guess that's inflation. Yeah, so we'll look at that one too. I mean, every storm's different, no doubt. Hurricane Carol, 1954. Another storm. They all hit though. The only good news with this one is it's a little more west. But we'll see what the 12Z bottles say. I know at 11 o'clock we're going to get a new cone, and that cone is going to be starting to touch. I would bet money that the 11 a.m. cone is probably going to start touching parts of the Northeast. We don't get watches and warnings until 48 hours out. All right, so listen, if you're new to following me, none of this is meant to scare anybody. I mean, I've never made it sound like we're going to get a category 5 hurricane up there, but nonetheless, the area doesn't get a lot of storms. So another thing that'll be interesting to watch too is this H. See, this is 2 a.m. Saturday, 2 a.m. Friday. You know what most of these models are showing? This is going to be like up here on 2 a.m. Sunday. Maybe I can't draw any higher than that. So more than likely, landfall is going to be Saturday morning. Once this thing turns, it gets lifted. It's accelerating fast. That's why I caution the rapid weakening. Stronger it is here, it's not going to weaken that fast unless it slows down and starts upwelling cooler waters. The water is extremely cool up here. That's why they think it'll start transitioning into extratropical, subtropical. But if it's still moving fast, it might still have tropical characteristics too. So it's very, very deceiving. Remember, Hurricane Florence was a strong system in the open Atlantic over waters that shouldn't have been supporting that. So I always question what should be and what actually happens, because we've seen it not always pan out. So I shared the water anomaly map here. So if you look, the water anomaly map, this is where Franklin was. This little white patch, it was blue, now it's white. It means it's warming up quicker. This is how much warmer the water is compared to a 30-year average. Now, if you look at, areas that this could be going towards, the water's arguably cooler, warmer than average. Gulf Stream's hot. But this area is the talking point, and I was doing it too until I did my homework. It's really not that cold. It looks cold on an anomaly map, but once you break it down and look at the actual values, it's still 82.7, 82.6, 81.9, 82.2, 81.6, the farther north you go. But it's going to be accelerating here pretty fast. Probably Shelly, yeah. Yeah, can we do 6 o'clock tonight? I think my boys are messaging me about Monday Night Football. We always go out on Monday night. So if we do 6, perfect. I don't think I have anything else. Cool. All right, so so the water temperatures now are 85, 85, 85, but then we get this little cold patch. It's really not that cold. So that's my big question mark. Is it really going to weaken as much as some are making it sound like? Now the water up here is definitely cold. I mean, it will, it's hard to support tropical systems in 67 degrees of water, but if it moves fast, that's what's going to be interesting. When does it make that transition? It could be twofold. It could be tropical impacts as it's transitioning into subtropical. So that's right, Eric. Anything over 80 is the number. Now I've seen Florence 78, 79. All right, so let's slow her down. I'll read some comments for a while. Hope everybody's doing good today. It's Monday. Nap time for me is less than an hour away. I can't wait. I get 4 hours sleep's okay, but I'm doing a lot of these lives too, man. They wear you out. Somebody asked me, oh, yeah, 6 is good because I might be on the news again tonight, and that's probably 7. So, yeah, 6 is perfect. Oh, Carol says she's old enough to remember. Hey, it's new to me. I got to do my homework. I'm not really sure. We did show the... Oh, Bobo. Yeah, let's talk about the wave. Sorry. Thank you for being patient. Tara, it's close enough to Jersey to watch. 100%. If you're in that cone, let me explain some new folks, and then we're going to look at the systems. I totally forgot about that system coming off Africa. It's not a new invest yet. We're going to talk about that real quick. The cone is anywhere that they think that the eye of the storm can go. And the big thing to note to all the New Englanders and folks up that way, that the effects are way, and this storm especially, the effects are going to be way outside of that cone. The cone is just where the center of the storm can go. If the storm is 500, 600, 700 miles wide, that's outside the cone. The cone is just where the eye can go, not the effects. That's, people think, oh, it's only going to make a landfall in Maine. It's not going to bother me. Well, you're going to be so dang close to the, effects of the storm as it skirts by that you're going to get something, And, waves. I break it down to 4 things. Rain, winds, waves, and storms. Well, let's look at some of the latest rain maps on Euro. Then we're going to dive into the storm coming off of Africa. I totally forgot about it. I'm done. I don't want to talk about anything. We're taking the rest of the year off. All right. Let's talk about rainfall. So the latest Euro obviously shows the heaviest stuff into Maine because that's where it thinks landfall is. But we could still have 3, 4, 5, 6 inches along, starting basically New York as this thing, passes by. Some of this rain is the initial from the front, but let's see what the GFS shows. Same. These big pockets of rain are just hard to predict, but anything in the white, 6 inches plus. So you can see how the rain is definitely going to be an issue for some. Luckily, it's moving fast, so it won't be hanging around much. All right, but long range looking. All right, so let's look long range. We're going to look at a couple things real quick. So this is a wave right now coming off Africa. This is on Saturday, this weekend coming up. We're done talking about Lee for now. So the latest GFS has been showing a west track and then a turn. There's Bermuda. This would be a week from Thursday, the 21st. There's been several runs of the GFS, though, that has been getting it awfully close to the East Coast. Timing here would be this Friday, the 22nd. Remember, the GFS is very, very, very inaccurate a lot. So just take it for a grain of salt. It does look like, this thing could be a lowrider impacting the Caribbean as early as Monday, maybe. The end of this weekend coming up, as it's parked about right here. So nothing's really changed. This whole system here about Friday, Saturday is going to be right here. And if you look at all the models, the Euro on Friday, about right here, low pressure. Look at the latest GFS, low pressure. Look at the latest Canadian, low pressure. Look at the latest Icon. And this, a different color now, but low pressure. So all 4 models that we look at are showing something. A lot of them are starting to pull it up, yes. However, we're starting to see this, H. So what we got to worry about if you're living on the East Coast or Bermuda is that once Lee pulls out, this high pressure builds in around it and could be something that tries to sneak away a little more west. Latest Euro starts to curve it. Oh, sorry, wrong storm. It's almost the same thing, though. This is 10 days out. So there's your Euro. Some of the ensembles, ensembles are starting to curve it. But look how far it gets on the operational run. This is 10 days from now. This is that orange area that's highlighted from the NHC right here. This is a system out there now. I don't think it's an Invest yet. Maybe it is. I don't know. If it is, it'd probably be Invest 98, unless it absorbs 97 and they just keep it 97. But this is the area that we're watching, and there's the Euro in 10 days. Yesterday's 12Z, a little higher. Starting to do that curve. See that curve close to Bermuda? So too far away to be worried about it yet, but let's look at some long-range models with it, some SpaghettiOs. So very high probability that it develops into Nigel. As far as any impacts towards the East Coast, it's hard to tell. Here is a week from Thursday. This is the 21st, 10 days from now. These are all your different spaghetti ensembles. And you can see an eventual turn, like we're always watching. The question will be, how far south does it go, or how far east does it go? So 10 days out, man, it's not, but we're starting to see a few touch, and the GFS touched the East Coast too. So yes, it's just, I worrying about things that far out when weather patterns change, as we've learned. But the important thing is middle of the Atlantic, the end of this week, Friday-ish, right here. These are your SpaghettiOs showing you this possibility. So definitely something to watch. Again, everything seems to be missing Caribbean, kind of going to the north, Western Atlantic. This has kind of been the story all year. So far, Western Atlantic's not seeing this one. But it'll be something to watch in the days ahead. Latest ensemble mean is showing, 21st. And then a close pass by Bermuda. So that's the classic recurve. The reason we're not getting that with Lee is because Margot's developed that high pressure system in between, which you can see so well here on Tropical Tidbits. Let's go to the Euro, hit the old 500 millibar height anomaly, and this is so classic right here. This is what we've been watching all along. So this is your frontal line Thursday, pulling up Lee, frontal line fizzles quick, high pressure builds in. Here's Margot. This high pressure builds in between the two, and if it gets strong, it's going to bump and keep our system before the next frontal line comes in and lifts it up. So that is the big question, is that high pressure, which we've seen all along. On Saturday, how strong this high is going to determine how much this thing wiggles west. But we'll see what the 11 o'clock advisory shows, and that'll be the new thing. So, Greg, what's the inventory looking like on generators, man? You guys did a bunch of them, I heard, for Idalia. So we got a whole new area we're watching, man, for the Northeast now, right? But anyway, hurricane anxiety rising in Nova Scotia. Well, John, I'm glad a little bit. I mean, but then some tell me it's nothing. So I don't know. It is going to weaken a little bit, but April Blanton, good. Thank you for the question. She says, why do they keep turning north? Which ones? All storms usually turn to the north this time of year because we have an approaching cold front, and they usually get picked up by the jet stream. Then they kind of do a recurve. Well, not recurve, curve. Recurve, what the hell is a recurve? I don't know the recurve. Sellout, yeah, I know the pattern for New England, man. A lot of people are saying it. This thing is going to be interesting. What else could we chat about? Austin, thanks for the stars, buddy. Inventory strong. All right. Where can we find Furman's at? Well, guaranteed lows, right? All right. We'll be live tonight at 6 p.m. We'll definitely have a lot of data today to watch. So by 6 p.m. tonight, we're going to have 2 NHC updates. By 5 p.m. tonight, we're going to have the cone touching the East Coast. I would bet money on it. No watches and warnings yet, but that will wake a lot of people up, I hope. And then we'll have a bunch of 12Z data that comes out, and we'll see if there's any shifts. If we get a little wiggle back east, then everybody can breathe a little better in the Northeast for sure. We just don't want to keep seeing these little wiggles to the west. All right, cool. All right, we've been an hour. My voice hurts. Oh, God, we're out. Boston's barely covering the storm. I can't believe it. I really can't. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But it sure looks like it's going to be something weather-wise. We'll know soon enough. Debbie, I'm glad we're over there too. You too. And then we'll turn our focus to Invest 97. I haven't. They must have merged the two together. They had to have. This says 30 West. Let me see. Because the original didn't look that impressive. 30 West. No, they're still showing it. Wow, that's weird. None of the models are showing the little yellow guy to do anything. They're all showing the orange guy to do something. He's 50% now. Got a little spin there south of the islands for 97. Maybe it is hanging on a little bit better today than I thought. But again, none of the models are really showing it to do anything. They even say that. Listen, here's what the NAC says about 97. 10% disorganized. It's going to merge. Oh, they are talking about it merging. So they are going to combine into one big massive storm. Not this one. So anyways, so the orange guy is going to eat the yellow guy. So there you go. We thought that would happen. And now it's official. Oh, now it's 60%. Oh, 60%. So I haven't even been keeping up. All right, now we're 60%. Where should I fly into? What's a nice small little airport? Does Allegiant fly up that way? I love Allegiant. They go into tiny little airports. But I have to pay for it. No, I don't. I keep everything in my backpack. I'm pretty good like that. Except for my drone. My drone will have a hard case. I hate carrying on things. Or carry-ons. Manchester, New Hampshire. Oh, we got a bunch of Bedford, New Hampshire. Air Canada to Nova Scotia. No, I'm not. I can't leave. I don't think I got a pass. I don't want to go to Nova Scotia. I'm afraid my passport might get revoked or something. I'll never be able to come home again. There you go, Manchester, Portland, Maine. God, it's so far up there. I just want to eat lobster. I love lobster. God, I would just love to eat some lobster. That'd be more fun live with lobster than chasing Lee, probably. All right. I might be Alex. She did talk about me coming back tonight, so we'll see if they email me or not. My nose got itchy all of a sudden. Sorry. I just started shaking my nose. Did a TikTok today. Let's see how big it is. I didn't want to do any clickbait.
Let's never forget.
I didn't want to do any clickbait headlines, but I just said Northeast, watch close, hurricane coming. That's about it, right? But now my internet ain't working. What's up with that? We had a power surge earlier. Oh, we're back online. Come on. Oh, 27,000. That's pretty good. 27,000. Power of TikTok is crazy. 27,000 views already in less than an hour. Unbelievable. Phil doesn't want to go, Greg, I don't think. That's okay, Serafina. I get it. I stay out of all that. I just talk weather. IP switch clams. What is that? No shrimp. Jamelia Rooney. Look, you still got the original Conehead. That's awesome. Okay. Tuckaway Tavern. Oh my God. Hey, Mike McBride. Mike McBride? Is that the old Mike McBride that I used to know racing? So, okay. Take that down, Shelly. I love that. Tuckaway Tavern. BOGO rolls. Well, I won't be on Tuesday, but I'll still pay full price if they're good. Fried belly clams. Ugh, I don't know about that. Anyway, all right. Well, I gotta go. All right. So everything in a nutshell. Let's do it. Let's do the nutshell. I love nutshell. All right, so we're gonna end with the nutshell. Since we're talking food. All right. So here's the NHC cone. We're gonna have a new cone out in about 30 minutes. Whoa. What am I doing there? New cone here. And we're gonna see if this thing pops up to New England, and I bet you it does. I almost bet the H is going to be over here more. I almost bet that this cone is going to end up turning just a little bit more, just from all the data that we've seen. And they'll discuss that in their discussion. They'll actually say the cone has bumped west. And we're going to see an H. This will be the curious thing to me. What happens to our H up here? Does it become a S? Does it become an H that's circled in white, meaning like subtropical? That's going to be very interesting because you know what? The next cone is going to include parts of the U.S. All right. We'll see it. Jamelia, I'm drawing over your house. I'm sorry. So we'll see everybody tonight at 6 p.m., all right? But I'll be updating all day long. Not from about 11 to noon. That's my nap. All right, we'll see y'all. Bye-bye.